Hey guys, this is the Wolf from Tennis House. Today I want to talk about the serve in general, not about the slice or the kick, just in general the serve. And I'm going to go through the foot position and work my way up and talk about the grip a little bit and everything that belongs in there. As always, if you like what I do, please do subscribe and turn on the notification buttons. And yeah, let's get straight to it. I hope you have 4 to 5 minutes to watch it. The serve. So, it depends what level you are, what physical ability you have at the beginning. You know, some players cannot just get this straight from the beginning, the continental grip. So if you have an Eastern grip at the beginning, that's fine, you know, for beginner players. And you can later gradually move the grip over. But for the grip, the easiest way, get around here and take the racket out like a sword so you have a pretty good grip. So with the serve, let's start with the feet. When you serve in singles, I preferably do not like to stand close to the tee here, because then you have like a long distance to each side and you take your angle away for the wide serve. I always like to be like a couple of feet away from the middle. So now later when you slice it, you have a better angle there. And yeah, just easier. When you look at the pros, they're standing somewhere between here and here. And make sure that the toes of your left foot point in the direction of the post, of the net post, and that your right foot is parallel to the baseline. And at the beginning, I would you know, experiment. I like my players to start in the platform serve stance, because when you have the platform stance, you only have to worry about the toss. You don't have to worry about dragging the foot in and coordinating everything. There are players that serve better at the beginning, right off the bat with the pinpoint. Which is this one, where you slide and drag your foot in. But most of the players are going to serve better if they have a platform stance. So the front part of the toes is right in the middle here of the left foot on the side. Right here, if you draw a line. So that's a good position. Later on, when you get more advanced, you can take the right leg a little bit further back so you have more coil. And at the beginning, this is a good position to stand. When you start the serve, as I said, the toes point in the direction of the net post. When you toss the ball, a lot of players at the beginning, they're serving like this and they're open already. So the belly button points to the side. It's part of standing like I just showed you. The belly button points to the side. The left arm, a lot of players have the left, they start here. Move them over. Your left arm, your tossing arm is almost in a straight line with the toes that point to the net post, so you can go straight forward and toss it. You have the J-toss, where you go as well here back, and you toss it like this. It's a preference thing. I'm old school. I don't know if it's old school, but I'm tossing it here. Hold the ball in the tips of your fingers. Don't squeeze it too much and don't grip it like this. Hold it nice and soft with the tips. So when you start, you're not squeezing it. You know, you're not flicking the wrist immediately. If you're too tight here, you're gonna toss it back. And remember, the toss comes. I always say that shoulder is the engine. So when you toss, you keep a straight arm. Start high at the beginning, because when you shift your weight back and you pull the racket towards your hips here, and you start higher, you have a little higher, you have a little longer way of acceleration to toss the ball, and that's going to make it easier. You have a little bit more room to toss the ball up. If you start low here and go back, it's harder, especially for kids, to toss the ball up. So with kids, I would start even higher. So you start high here, you take the racket and the ball back to the hips, and then you toss the ball up with the straight arm, and then you get the right arm up, and recall when you pull the right arm up, it's like palm down. So you toss, and you go palm down, and the racket goes up in the trophy here, and then you make sure you load your bat into your back leg. So in this trophy, what I like to tell my players is, I always say they like it, the juniors like it, to call it a cobra, like they're up here like a cobra. So when I start them serving, actually, and that's one thing you can do when you start with the arm up and a little bit to the right. And you know, you shrink the whole motion and you focus on this, so you can focus on the toss and only the hitting. So you're right here, and I call it like a cobra. And when they're like this, they're loose in the hand here, because you want to be loose to swing. It's like a whip, you know, you want to whip it. So when you're up here, that's a way to start to serve. You just toss it and hit it. I just want to demo the whole serve. So you go here, you start up high, you go back, straight arm with the toss, then the palms down, and you go into your trophy here. You coil the upper body against the lower body a little bit, and then when you jump up, the racket drops into the leg position back here. The racket drops in here, the elbow shoots up, forearm goes, the edge of the racket goes up in the last moment, you pronate, and then you go and then serve. So what I always tell my players is you go back here, you go up in the trophy and the cobra here, and then, you know, Ryan, my friend from 2 Minutes, he said party head, knocking the party head off when you go and hit. So when your knees extend, the party head is knocked off. And then when you go up, edge in, this edge on the side of the racket goes in, the other edge shoots out, and then you straighten the racket up, pronate, and hit the ball. Always easier said than done. It takes a lot of practice. What I would do when I would start serving, I said try to have the grip right, the feet in the right position. And what I would do is I would start with the cobra up here. I always call it cobra. And then get the toss at the same spot, because when the toss is always at a different spot, you don't know how much you have to snap. You don't know, you know, how much pace you have to take off to place that ball. So I would definitely start here. You toss it up, and you hit that ball. And then one more tip I have for you is have the index finger a little bit spread from the rest here. We call that the trigger finger. So when you snap and hit the ball, you feel that ball a little bit more. It's on the forehand as well, and on the backhand, because if you have a fist here like this and you serve, it just feels like a piece of racket in your hand. You don't feel that thing. So you need to make sure that index finger is a little bit spread, and when you hit, you snap that finger. So if you keep those things in mind on the serve, you should have a pretty good practice starting point to improve with your serve.